Hi everyone, welcome back to the Reddit drama channel with another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and like the video if you enjoy it. Also, please click the notification bell so you won't miss when another cheating story goes live. These simple clicks mean a lot to our channel, and thank you for your support.
Girlfriend said she was collaborating with a guy and she confessed that. I feel really devastated and not sure how to recover out of this. It took me 1 full year of therapy and active fighting with myself to regain a decent level of self-esteem. It's 4 a.m. here and I cannot sleep, so I will vent a bit. Almost 2 years ago it was hell for me. My girlfriend of 4 years, started an affair. We are from Europe. She moved to a big city where her father inherited an apartment. I lent 40k euros, almost all my savings and wealth at that time, to her father to cover the inheritance costs without knowing exactly when I would get them back. I was in the process of finding a job and moving in with her there. We lived together for almost 2 years. Few months in my home country and the rest in a country where I found a good job situation. She is an artist and it was hard for her to have income. During these 4 years, I worked hard to retrain myself from forester to researcher and data scientist, trying to have a decent life. I grew up in poverty and I had a lot of motivation and fear to want to escape it. In the last year we started to have some conflicts because of her way of spending and my built-up resentment and passive aggressiveness about this. She was also impatient in our sexual life, and me not dealing great with shame around sex due to my childhood trauma, but we were trying to communicate as much as possible. Otherwise we felt so close to each other. We loved each other and we both had moments of depression and anxiety but gave each other support and love. Later on we both discovered that we were codependent. Things started to gradually spiral down when she moved to the inherited apartment. She started to be distant, selfish, and more impatient. At one point she told me there is a guy with whom she started to collaborate for an artistic project that she hopes will push her career a lot. I was okay at first, but then it felt that they were too close and I started to move from a secure attachment to a preoccupied one. I told her kindly that I am starting to feel nervous about this. She thanked me for expressing my fears and reassured me there is nothing to be worried about. But I discovered she lied to my face. I felt something has changed between us. It was a gut feeling that was actually right. Few weeks later she proposed open relationship because it takes too much for me to find a new job and she needs sex and the long distance relationship is putting a burden on her. Sex is basic human need and is unfair to be possessive of her. I felt so hurt. Then I started to believe her. I thought she was right. I am being selfish and possessive. But I also got angry and suggested we meet more often even though there were 1,300 kilometers or so between us. We spent 2 weeks together, we had a nice time, and she apologized for proposing an open relationship. Few weeks later she starts to be very depressed. I started to suspect she cheated on me. I felt I will let her open up when she feels like it. One day she couldn't take the inner guilt anymore and she freely called me and admitted that she cheated on me with her colleague. Even though I expected that. It hurt me hard. Fucking hard. I got so angry. She was actually visiting alone with my family back home for a photo project about poverty and female struggle in poverty. It felt so painful. So effing painful. I felt so insulted. Yet I couldn't end it. She apologized a lot, we cried, and we talked constantly on the phone. We were both in huge pain. I asked her not to see him anymore and she agreed. But my trust was so broken already. We planned to meet to spend some time together. When we met it was actually very painful. The communication was bad and when I confronted her I discovered she actually couldn't stop seeing him. The affair continued behind my back. I felt devastated and angry and made her feel so guilty to the point we were both crying constantly. We ended the relationship, it got too painful at this point. Then hell started to further unfold for me. The guy moves in with her in the apartment. I got my money back a few months later from her parents. Ironically, during all this madness, a very good job was offered to me there, but I felt it pointless to move anymore. I had a huge major depressive episode triggered. Spiraled down fast and hit rock bottom. I was so spaced out that I almost burned my apartment down and killed myself because of being neglectful, something that never happened to me before. I was thinking of suicide and that indicates me I needed help. I first saw a psychiatrist, got medication for depression. Then I started to see a therapist and things gradually got better. Fast forward, after 1.5 years of recovery and some dates in between I met this amazing girl. She is smart, good-looking, ambitious and shares a lot in common. But there were red flags again that I neglected. It turned out she suffers from borderline personality disorder. I was so naive to fall prey to her love bombing. It felt so good to my fragile self-esteem. After almost 2 months together, things turned extremely abusive and toxic. I posted a lot already about this. My rational self tried to pull me out from this abusive relationship while my codependent self told me to find a way to make it work despite the huge red flags. She cheated on me with her ex as punishment for wanting some time for myself, and also did some other forms of cheating like flirting behind my back with a Tinder date and watching sex recordings with her ex. She even has the cruelty to send me a video recording enjoying giving oral sex to her ex. All this opened huge wounds inside me and created new deep ones. I feel completely crushed. This happened almost 3 months ago and recovery is very slow and DMN hard. She asked to remain friends and I was so naive to accept, but then I realized she is too mentally ill to even realize the abuse she is still inflicting. We don't talk anymore and I think it is better this way. Why would I forgive? Many people write and say that forgiveness is important. But I don't want to tolerate cheaters anymore. There is no excuse for this, not even a mental illness, because she had some control over her actions. There was at least some minimal of control. Besides, she never genuinely apologized. I never felt that. If she apologized, she would find some excuse immediately after. The problem now is that my last wounds are open as well. I just feel it is too much. I am scared that my next relationship will end up with them cheating again. Like I end up somehow being attracted by and attracting cheaters. How do I stop this vicious circle? Is this the consequence of codependency? Is the world more inclined towards tolerating cheating? All of this is so confusing. Here is the second story. Basically, my 37M, GF, 25, of 3 years cheated on me with my son, 20M. It's definitely over between me and her. I'm working on a way to communicate with her just how hurt she's made me feel and what it's done to me before I cut contact forever. It hurts so much because I've been on my own for years after my wife died very young, and she's the only person I've let in enough to be in a relationship with. But I feel I was stupid enough to believe someone so young would truly be interested in me. I let my guard down and let the wrong person in. I actually didn't even think about the age, I thought just about the person. I can't feel awful enough about that. Maybe I deserve to be alone if that's who I get with. I'll never trust anyone again. But my son, man, that's the one that hurts me the most. Being a young dad, and a single dad from 22, I've tried my best to give him the best life. It's not been easy, but up until now, I wouldn't have traded it for the world. But God, I feel so betrayed by him. Don't get me wrong, he's my son and I absolutely love him, but I don't see how he can make this right. All respect I had, has gone. I don't trust him anymore. I know it's a hugely effed up situation. Update, so I've made 2 big decisions today. I have messaged my ex saying I want to meet up with her to talk. I'm not getting back with her. However, I want to see her face to face, look her in the eyes, and tell her how much she hurt me and that I want no more contact. I might even drop what I was going to propose next year before all this happened. It's not for her, it's for me. And regarding my son, I've made the decision that I want to sit with him and make him face my parents to tell them what he's done and why he's staying there, and see the disappointment in their eyes. They're extremely close and I want him to see what his actions have done and the consequences they have. If he does that, he stands a chance of us starting to patch up. Here are some of the best comments from our community. May I suggest you don't try to get her to understand how much she hurt you? She doesn't care about hurting you. I'm sorry to be so blunt. But focusing on that will only prolong your own pain, and you deserve to heal. Go NC with both your GF and son. Being around any of them is unhealthy for your mental state right now. Cut off your GF from your life for good. For your son, I mean, he is your son, you really can't cut him off completely, so minimal contact until you find yourself to be in a place where you think you can forgive him and resume a proper relationship with him again. Take care. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.